Hello everyone. Today I am with Vivek Barchha. He is a certified financial planner.
I've done my MBA from Flame University, and alongside my BCom, I did my certification, CFP. And apart from that, I have done a lot of other NISM and NCFM certifications. So I'm a financial consultant as of now.
Okay. So, what is CFP? What skills do you think are necessary for entering this course? Are there any skills necessary?
I feel that there are skills that are necessary or should be there with you before you get enrolled into CFP.
Okay. So, what do you think about the relevance of this course, relevance of financial planning in India? To be a financial planner, do you think it is necessary to do CFP?
Planner, no, and yes.
There are many questions about the increasing level of income gap between the middle class of India and the higher class of India. There is a increasing gap. So what do you think about that?
So, what I personally think about that gap is that it's because of the structural change that the economy is going through right now.
Let's talk about the eligibility criteria to enter the course. What is the eligibility criteria? So, what is the registration cost for entering into this certification? Is there any additional cost that is to be incurred? And are there any scholarships provided by the institute? Okay, तो क्या इस कोर्स के लिए कोचिंग नेसेसरी है या नहीं लेने से भी चलता है, और अगर आपने ली थी तो कहाँ से ली थी? सो व्हाट जॉब पैकेजेस एंड व्हाट job levels I can expect?
You might get into sales of an AMC. AMC माने एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी, जो म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनीज है, उनके सेल्स रोल में जा सकते हो आप. उसमें भी अलग अलग चैनल्स होते हैं, रिटेल चैनल, इंस्टीट्यूशनल चैनल, काफ़ी सारे अलग चैनल्स होते हैं. आप कोई कैपिटल फर्म के सेल्स या ऑपरेशंस डिपार्टमेंट में जा सकते हो. सेल्स फ्रंट एंड रोल हो गया, ऑपरेशंस बैक एंड रोल हो
As
गया.
a professional CFP, what 5 financial advices would you like to give to our audience? Hello everyone. Today I am with Vivek Barchha. He is a certified financial planner. Welcome Vivek. How are you?
I'm good, Prashant. I'm glad to be here. How are you?
I am great as well. So without any further ado, अपना session start करते हैं. So Vivek, introduce yourself.
I have done my BCom from Ahmedabad University. I have done my MBA from Flame University. And alongside my BCom, I did my certification, CFP. And apart from that, I have done a lot of other NISM and NCFM certifications. So I'm a financial consultant as of now.
Okay. So what is CFP?
So Prashant, CFP is all about personal financial planning, and by financial planning, I mean not only investments, but insurance planning, retirement planning, tax planning, estate planning, and investment planning.
So basically 360-degree view of personal finances.
Correct.
And how did you got into that?
That's a very interesting story, Prashant. I come from a Gujarati business family, and we have a by default setting of having an inclination towards stock markets.
Agreed. Marwadi and Gujarati by default setting.
Correct, correct. So
I
I
should have
still
asked
remember.
you came cho.
Yeah, I'm Majama. Yeah, right.
Great.
So I still remember that my first question in my ninth standard summer vacations was, "Daddy, Sensex at Leshun." So that means what is Sensex, right?
Okay.
And that's how my journey started. I learned about stock markets, I learned about insurances, the types of it, and then slowly I got inclination towards managing money effectively, and that's how I got into CFP.
That's a very nice inspiration. So, what skills do you think are necessary for entering this course? Are there any skills necessary?
I feel that there are skills that are necessary or should be there with you before you get enrolled into CFP. There are no statutory guidelines other than having a 12th standard certificate. But of course, you need to have some basic knowledge about what are stock markets, what are insurance, what is a tax plan, what is the taxation structure. So
Okay.
these are some of the things that you should know as per me that's required to get into CFP.
Okay. So, what do you think about the relevance of this course, relevance of financial planning in India?
Okay, so Prashant, let me tell you some statistics. There are in today's time there are more than 2 lakh plus certified financial planners in India, and with the rise in the income and the status of people in India, the emergence of financial planners like us is also rising. So yes, in today's time, it's very much relevant in India and across the globe.
Okay. So, I would like to ask here two questions. First is related to market, second one is related to the course. Uh, to be a financial planner, do you think it is necessary to do CFP
To be a financial planner, it's
for yourself, for
necessary
personal?
to be a certified financial planner? No, and yes. So I'll tell you the difference, because doing a CFP gives you the holistic view of how a proper financial plan should be as per
Okay.
you. So it takes you to through the journey of a financial plan, be it of your own or someone else that you are guiding.
Hmm.
Yes, the certification gives you the statutory right to be an advisor to someone, but for managing your own plan, no, you don't need the professional certification, but yes, it surely does help.
Okay. And market question would be ki there are many questions about the increasing level of income gap between the middle class of India and the higher class of India. There is a increasing gap. So what do you think about that?
So, what I personally think about that gap is that it's because of the structural change that the economy is going through right now. So, let me tell you, if you have seen the numbers and the ranks of economy of the world, of the countries, India now stands at number 3,
Okay.
right? So it's very much clear that India is going through a major financial or economical structural change that we have been waiting for, be it in terms of manufacturing, be in terms of IT, be in terms of infrastructure, be in terms of any other sector that you may take. And we also need to understand that there are two type of employees, skilled and unskilled. So as we go up as a nation, as we go from a developing economy to a developed economy, because India is one of the fastest developing economies today, right? So the demand for skilled employees or skilled laborers in economic terms goes up, right? And hence, because of this structural shift, we are seeing some kind of gap, but that will subside with time. I'm sure of that.
Okay. So we shouldn't be threatened by that.
No, it's just the part of the change that we are going through, and it has to subside.
लेट्स मूव अहेड क्या इस सर्टिफिकेशन में कोई प्री रिक्वायर्ड स्किल है जो कि एक बंदे में होनी चाहिए बिफोर एंटरिंग इनटू दिस सर्टिफिकेशन?
सो ऐसा कोई स्टैट्यूटरी गाइडलाइन नहीं है कि ये स्किल होना चाहिए, बट व्हाट आई फील पर्सनली इज दैट द पर्सन शुड हैव सम नॉलेज अबाउट stock markets, some knowledge about insurance, some knowledge about taxation. So इन चीज़ों का एक बेसिक नॉलेज होना really helps you a lot in coping up with the subjects.
ओके. सो बेसिकली अगर कोई साइंस बैकग्राउंड से आ रहा है तो ही नीड टू हैव बेसिक नॉलेज अबाउट हाउ द मार्केट्स वर्क एंड हाउ एवरीथिंग इज डन इन द फाइनेंस वर्ल्ड एंड देन ही कैन डू दिस, राइट?
Correct. So be it from any background, it doesn't matter. You can enroll for CFP. ऐसा कोई statute है नहीं कि you cannot do this if you come from this stream or this background.
ओके.
But what I feel personally is that knowing basics about certain things helps you a lot in coping up with the exams and the course material provided.
Okay. So let's move on to the more detailed discussion of the course. Let's talk about the eligibility criteria to enter the course. What is the eligibility criteria?
Uh, there's no such eligibility criteria, but you need to be 12th pass in order to get enrolled into CFP certification. And to hold a certificate of CFP, you need to be a graduate.
Okay.
So
So you
that's the
can
statute.
start at
That's
class
the
12th, but to end and to achieve the certification, you need to be a graduate.
so after completing the certification, after giving the final exam, you need certain hours of practice into the financial industry.
Okay.
And that's how you get the certification. After that, after completing that number of hours, you get the certification of CFP. Right. So before getting that certification, you have to be a graduate. That's the statutory guideline that FPSB has set.
Okay. So, what is the registration cost for entering into this certification? What is any, is there any additional cost that is to be incurred? And are there any scholarships provided by the institute?
So it depends. So let's first break down the cost structure.
Hmm.
You need close to $165 to enroll yourself. That's the one-time registration fee.
$165.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's close to 18 to 20,000 rupees.
Hmm.
And then you need to buy the study material provided by FPSB, which is also mandatory that you buy from their portal, their online portal.
Okay.
So there are right now the structure has four different modules, or let's say four different levels, in which three are the basic ones, and the fourth is the integrated planning module. Right.
Okay.
So you need to buy course material for all the three modules. That's $60 each. So $180 there. And then, some additional costs might come up because if you fail the exam, you need to reapply for it. And that's where you incur some other costs. And moving into the integrated financial planning module, you need to pay 10,500 rupees upfront for submitting your financial plan. So that's how the structure of the program, of the new program is कि आपको पहले एक financial plan submit करना होगा and then only you can sit for the exam और vice versa.
Okay.
So उसमें इस साल से ये इधर और वाला ऑप्शन आ गया है कि आप पहले या तो फाइनेंशियल प्लान सबमिट करो या तो फाइनल एग्जाम के लिए बैठो, बट पहले वैसा नहीं था. सो फाइनल
Okay.
एग्जाम के कॉस्ट भी है एंड इसके अपना फाइनेंशियल प्लान सबमिट करने के भी कॉस्ट है. सो मोटा मोटा
फाइनेंशियल
यू कैन से
प्लान सबमिट करने का कितना कॉस्ट है?
10,500 रुपीज.
ओके. एंड जो आपका फाइनल एग्जाम रहेगा, एग्जामिनेशन अटेंड करने का एग्जाम फीस कितना है?
सो दैट्स क्लोज टू $122. मतलब आप
ओके.
एक समझ सकते हो कि आपको एक साल में अगर कंप्लीट करना है CFP, so you will incur the cost of around 750 to $770.
ओके.
मतलब 1 लाख, 1 डेढ़ लाख रुपए से थोड़ा सा इधर उधर, डिपेंड्स ऑन द एक्सचेंज रेट अगेन बिकॉज वो डॉलर में कॉस्ट होते हैं.
हम्म.
सो ये आपका कॉस्टिंग हो सकता है पूरे कोर्स की.
ओके. एंड एग्जाम पैटर्न कैसा रहता है? ये जो आपने 3 मॉड्यूल्स बोले, ये 3 मॉड्यूल्स का पेपर साथ में होता है या एक एक करके होता है? कैसे इसका फॉर्मेट रहता है?
नहीं, सो एक एक करके होता है इसका. ये जो
ओके.
फर्स्ट एग्जाम है वो इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लानिंग के ऊपर है. इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लानिंग एंड इंट्रोडक्शन वाला जो मॉड्यूल है उसको क्लब कर दिया गया है अब.
ओके.
तो उसका एक, अब जो नया करिकुलम है उसमें हर एक एग्जाम का एक अलग सर्टिफिकेशन अवेलेबल है.
ओके.
राइट. तो पहले आप 3 एग्जाम दो, उसके 3 सर्टिफिकेशंस आपको इंडिविजुअली मिलेंगे. एंड आफ्टर यू गिव द फोर्थ सर्टिफिकेशन और द फोर्थ एग्जाम फाइनल वाला, आपको CFP का सर्टिफिकेशन मिल जाएगा.
ओके. तो अगर कोई बंदा है जिसने तीनों एग्जाम दिए, सपोज ही फेल्ड इन द थर्ड सब्जेक्ट, तो क्या उसको पहले 2 का सर्टिफिकेशन मिलेगा?
करेक्ट, मिलेगा उसको.
ओके। एंड एग्जाम पैटर्न कैसा रहता है, लाइक पूरा ऑब्जेक्टिव रहता है या सब्जेक्टिव भी रहता है उसमें,
नहीं,
कंप्यूटर बेस्ड
जनरली
रहता है या कैसा रहता है?
एमसीक्यूज रहते हैं। देर
ओके।
आर 75 क्वेश्चंस पर पेपर। तो एक पेपर में 75 क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं, 4 ऑप्शंस रहते हैं हर एक के।
कंप्यूटर बेस्ड रहता है?
कंप्यूटर बेस्ड रहता है, यस।
ओके।
एंड इट्स टेकन बाय एनसीएफएम।
एनसीएफएम। ओके। आपने जो फॉर्मेट ऑफ क्वेश्चन बोला कि एमसीक्यू रहेंगे, तो क्वेश्चंस किस टाइप के रहते हैं? आर दे डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस या केस स्टडी बेस्ड टाइप क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं? व्हाट इज द फॉर्मेट, या दोनों मिक्स रहते हैं?
मिक्स रहते हैं दोनों।
ओके।
हर एक मॉड्यूल में हर एक टाइप का क्वेश्चन आए ऐसा जरूरी भी नहीं है।
ओके।
ठीक है, मतलब हर एक टाइप का, एज इन आई मीन केस स्टडी और डायरेक्ट। जनरली केस स्टडी टाइप क्वेश्चंस लास्ट वाले मॉड्यूल में ज्यादा होते हैं, वेर इन एवरीथिंग इज क्लब्ड टुगेदर। तो वो मॉड्यूल का नाम ही है इंटीग्रेटेड फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग, राइट। सो सारा कुछ इंटीग्रेटेड आता है, तो उसमें केस स्टडी बेस्ड होते हैं ज्यादा। बाकी इट्स डायरेक्ट स्टैंड अलोन क्वेश्चन।
ओके, तो क्या इस कोर्स के लिए कोचिंग नेसेसरी है, या नहीं लेने से भी चलता है, और अगर आपने ली थी तो कहाँ से ली थी?
Okay, so I'll give you two scenarios, pre 2020 and post 2020, क्योंकि 2020 में there was a curriculum shift in CFP, और FPSB इंडिया जो है वो कंट्रोल करता है CFP को इंडिया में।
ओके।
सो प्री 2020 एक मोड था, सेल्फ एजुकेशन मोड जिसको कहते थे,
ओके।
कि जिसमें कभी कभी कोचिंग की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती थी, यू कैन डायरेक्टली स्टडी एंड सिट फॉर द एग्जाम्स। बट अब जो कोर्स आउटलाइन आया है उसमें देर आर ऑप्शंस ऑफ taking authorized education providers, and there's an option of self study mode also. बट सेल्फ स्टडी मोड में क्या हो जाता है कि जैसे वी स्पोक अबाउट 4 लेवल्स ऑफ द सर्टिफिकेशन इन द न्यू करिकुलम, तो हर एक करिकुलम की एग्ज़ाम देने के लिए यू नीड टू बी एलिजिबल, एंड वो एलिजिबिलिटी आपको मिलती है या तो आपके एजुकेशन प्रोवाइडर से, या तो एक यूनिट टेस्ट पास करके। सो अगर आप सेल्फ स्टडी मोड लेते हो तो आपको यूनिट टेस्ट देनी पड़ेगी वो एग्ज़ाम से पहले, टू से द बोर्ड दैट आई एम एलिजिबल फॉर द एग्ज़ाम। करेक्ट। अगर आप ऑथोराइज्ड एजुकेशन प्रोवाइडर के थ्रू जाते हो तो दैट एजुकेशन प्रोवाइडर हैज द राइट टू गिव यू दैट एलिजिबिलिटी दैट यू कैन सिट फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन। एंड मैंने कहाँ से कोचिंग ली है, मैंने अहमदाबाद में प्रशांत शाह करके हमारे टीचर थे मेरे, सो उनका इंस्टीट्यूट है पीबीएस नाम से। सो आई हैव टेकन माय कोचिंग फ्रॉम हिम। So, and he is also the only authorized education provider in Ahmedabad that's running right now.
एंड हाउ मच डिड इट कॉस्ट यू?
Overall, पूरा कोर्स का मिला के it took me around same कि 1,50,000 के आजू बाजू। I clearly don't remember the numbers right now.
चलेगा, आपने अराउंड फिगर बताया वो भी चलेगा, अराउंड आई वुड से कि 150 टू 200 के, राइट?
Correct, correct.
समझा। तो अ, अगर मैं अंडर ग्रेजुएशन किया, मैंने सीएफपी कर लिया है, सो व्हाट जॉब पैकेजेस एंड व्हाट जॉब लेवल्स आई कैन एक्सपेक्ट?
Okay. So what all job roles you can expect after doing CFP is you might get into sales
ओके।
of an AMC. AMC माने एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी, जो म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनीज है, उनके सेल्स रोल में जा सकते हो आप। उसमें भी अलग अलग चैनल्स होते हैं, रिटेल चैनल, इंस्टीट्यूशनल चैनल, काफ़ी सारे अलग चैनल्स होते हैं। आप कोई कैपिटल फर्म के सेल्स या ऑपरेशंस डिपार्टमेंट में जा सकते हो। सेल्स फ्रंट एंड रोल हो गया, ऑपरेशंस बैक एंड रोल हो गया। So CFP gives the indication to your employer that you know something about finance and something more about finance, right?
ओके।
तो वो
सो
एक इंडिकेशन क्वेश्चन है कि आपको फील्ड के बारे में पता है।
ओके। तो कोई पर्सन है जिसने ग्रेजुएशन किया, जिसने सीएफपी सर्टिफिकेशन कर लिया है एंड वो फ्रीलांसिंग पे वर्क कर रहा है, तो हाउ विल ही अर्न? मतलब उनका अगर फ्रीलांसिंग पे कोई काम कर रहा है, तो व्हाट इज द रेंज इन विच दे आर अर्निंग?
सो इफ अगर आज कोई फ्रीलांसिंग कर रहा है तो वो क्या कर रहा है, मतलब व्हाट इज हिज रोल? इज ही अ म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर एंड डूइंग एंड also providing CFP services which might not be allowed by the statutory body? अगर वो सिर्फ फ्रीलांस कर रहा है तो वो सिर्फ फाइनेंशियल प्लान बना रहा है तो वो उसका कमीशन चार्ज कर सकता है, या तो वो कमीशन चार्ज कर सकता है या वो फीस चार्ज कर सकता है।
ओके।
जनरली लोग फीस ही चार्ज करते हैं बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट चार्ज कमीशन ऑन समथिंग वेर इन यू कैन नॉट कीप
हम्म।
ट्रैक ऑफ इट रेगुलरली।
यस।
ठीक है, तो वैसे होता है, डिपेंड्स कि जनरली फ्रीलांसिंग बहुत कम लोग करते हैं इस फील्ड में। आफ्टर बिकमिंग अ CFP they either have their own setup of advisory or they work under someone.
ओके। एंड अगर जॉब कर रहे हैं तो क्या पैकेजेस रह सकते हैं?
इट डिपेंड्स अगेन कि आप कौन सी कंपनी में जॉब कर रहे हो और कौन से रोल पे जॉब कर रहे हो। इट माइट रेंज फ्रॉम 8 to 15 lakhs per annum
ओके।
starting.
So I think I have tried to cover everything that can be covered about CFP. So Vivek, last question. As a professional CFP, what five financial advices would you like to give to our audience?
Okay, so in terms of financial advice, a lot of advices comes to a professional's mind when it's about managing your personal finance effectively. But if we talk about top five, my number one advice would be get right kind of information. Just don't get information, get right kind of information because that's very much important. वो आपको एक information डायरिया से बचा के रखेगा,
Can you
right?
give example of that?
So today a lot of youngsters get into future and options, get into other kind of uh, trading based on tips that come from a lot of different channels, right?
Yes.
So without being informed about what the instruments are, right? Futures क्या होता है, options क्या होता है, उन
Yes.
सब के उन सबको जाने बिना ट्रेड करना इज वेरी हार्मफुल फॉर देम। तो उनका वेल्थ वहां पे काफी डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाता है।
Agreed. Second.
सेकेंड वुड बी मैनेज योर एक्सपेंसेस स्मार्टली। जो हम लोग समझते हैं कि इनकम माइनस एक्सपेंसेस इज योर सेविंग्स,
Hmm.
but it shouldn't be that way. It should be income minus savings is equal to your expenses and has to be equal to your expenses. ठीक है, जो
Okay.
बचेगा वो आप स्पेंड करो बिकॉज सेविंग्स इज वेरी मच क्रिटिकल। वो आज समझ नहीं आएगा, कल समझ नहीं आएगा, बट once you stop earning, once you hit that age where you cannot earn or make more money, तब शायद रियलाइज होगा that I could have saved and I should have saved.
Next. Third.
Third advice would be on an average 33% is the ratio. 33% of the income is saved by an Indian on an average. So at least try to meet that criteria. At least 33% of your income should go into investments and your personal financial planning.
Okay. Fourth.
And fourth advice would be understand the aspects of personal finance before investing, because there are five other parameters जिस पे एक पूरा financial plan बनता है,
Hmm.
which are insurance planning, investment planning, tax planning, estate planning जिसको हम succession planning या legacy planning कहते हैं, ठीक है, और retirement planning. So
I would
these are
say
five
कि all
aspects.
these five are covered in CFP.
Correct, they are very well. So that's the difference between, being an investment specialist and a financial planner.
Okay. And fifth and the last advice.
Fifth is, before getting into any kind of investments, before getting into any kind of other trading exercises, make sure that you are safe, make sure your family is safe. And by safety, I mean make sure you are covered in your absence. And by that, we talk about life insurance, we talk about health insurance. So if tomorrow something happens to you and you are not there, God forbid, if you are not there, your loved ones are taken care of, right? Because they are the ones ultimately who are going to suffer. So make sure that
Okay.
you are covered and safe.
Agreed. One additional question, Vivek, before we say goodbye. Are there any myths in the personal finance world which you would like to burst today?
There are a lot of myths, I would say. A lot of myths. You name, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So, I'll talk about certain myths related to CFP, right?
Okay.
Regarding professional advice, regarding financial planners' guidance. So, I would just say three myths that are very much prevalent when it comes to taking guidance into personal finance. Number one would be that financial planning is just for the rich. And it's not that, because a lot of Gen Ys who are not rich yet seek financial advice. You'll be surprised to know that the 2023 report by FPSB says that over 9 in 10 clients earning 65 lakh or less per year who work with CFP professionals feel financially secure and confident, which is higher than unadvised consumers on the same level of income. And that's a very big statement to burst the myth, right? And I hope you get it.
Yes, I get it. But
Yeah,
if we talk about the middle class in India, don't you think the cost of a financial planner is much higher because the income levels are not rising very much?
correct. And the second myth is about that. The myth says that financial planning costs more than it's worth.
Hmm.
But again, the research does not say that.
Okay.
Again, the research says that uh, probably 7 or 8 clients out of 10 clients say that the value that the financial planner gives out is way much more than the costs that they take or they charge us.
Okay.
Correct. So this is something which the middle class of the country says when it's asked, when they are asked about.
Okay. And the last myth?
The last myth would be financial planning is only needed at retirement. So people think about retirement planning and then they ask you questions. A lot of my clients have asked me that, बॉस रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग के लिए क्या करूं वो बताओ विवेक रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग કેવી રીતે કરશું so they just think about the longest goal that they have, but they lack to plan their finances about the goals which come prior to retirement planning. And no doubt retirement planning is the topmost goal that a person should have, but there are also other things which a person has to keep in mind before making a retirement plan, or let's say any other plan. So
Yes.
these are the three myths to talk.
I think that was a great session. We have covered everything about the CFP course, and I think our listeners has got a great advice about how to manage their personal finance, the basics.
Correct.
So thank you very much for coming to this podcast and giving knowledge about the certification. Thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
Thank you so much, Prashant, for having me.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.